What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another video. Today I'm going to be talking you through the steps of how to frame out an arch, more or less how to figure out an arch. It's something a lot of people don't understand how to do, and it's a very simple process. So whether you're putting round arches like this on your home or a shed, maybe a remodel, this is going to be a bulletproof method for you to figure it out and do it as easily as possible. Now, there is a ton of methods for doing what we're about to do. The method I'm about to show you involves very little math, super easy to figure out, and it works every time. So now the first thing you need to do when figuring out your arch is find your rough opening. This is going to be the opening that you're putting the arch into. Let's get an example real quick and I'll show you how to lay this thing out. So here behind me we have an 85-inch opening, so that's what we're going to use as our example. We'll use this little guy to take notes on. So we have an 85-inch opening that we're going to be making an arch for. We're going to start here by marking out 85. So once you have your sheet marked at your opening, 85 here, you can go ahead and cut that off square. I'm not going to cut this sheet, it's just an example for you guys. Now the next thing you need to determine is how big you want that space right there. How much you want it to drop down from your header. You can find out how much you need to drop by checking the plans. Typically it'll show it. Now for all of these arches we used a 6-inch drop. Therefore our header is set 6 inches higher than the top of our opening. So we'll write down 6-inch drop. So now the way we build this is going to be very simple. That's the top, this is the bottom of our arch. We're going to come up to the top here and mark 6 inches down, or whatever you want that to be. If you want it to be 3 inches, mark 3 inches. If you want it to be 10, mark 10. We're going to use 6. We're going to snap that across. Now whatever your opening is, 85 in this case, you're going to take that and divide it by 2. So for this example, we're going to be at 42.5. We'll mark it right there. You're going to come down here and mark 42.5 here. We'll go ahead and square that up. So here's where everything's going to fall in place. Right up there, we have our center mark of our opening. We're going to take that overall 85 inches, divide it by 2 again. That gives us 42.5. We're going to pull down off of our red line 42.5, and as you can see, we come off of this sheet a bit. Bigger arches, you need more than one sheet. We're going to take our line over. Now if your arch is smaller than 85, you'll most likely be on this sheet. In my case, I went over just a bit. So now what we're going to do is tack a nail. Right there. It's 42.5 right to the nail. Here's where the fun begins. You're going to hook that, take your tape all the way up. As you can see, 42.5 lands perfectly on that red line. You're going to set your pencil up. And you're just going to run it all the way out just like that. And then we're going to do the same thing coming back this way. That little slot right there on your tape measure, it's for hooking a nail for this very reason. We're going to lock our tape measure, make sure it's nice and easy to hold. Pinch at 42.5 or whatever your number is, and just drag. As you can see, we started out perfect all the way around, right up to the top where we wanted to be for our opening, back down, and right to that corner. The way to do this would be to stack both these sheets up on top of each other and cut this all the way through with a jigsaw. That would give you 2 identical arches as seen in the video up in the top left-hand corner. So once you have your arches cut out with your jigsaw, you're going to take the width of your wall and cut blocks Cut quite a few of them. Depending on the size of your arch, you're gonna need quite a few of them. And you'll pin one block right up here, one block right there, and a couple along the top. And that's gonna be to nail into your header and to your king studs. From there, you can fit your arch into position as seen in the video here. Make sure everything is nice and tight and nail it up. Take all the blocks that you cut and start at one end and work your way up towards the center. You're gonna put one block in the center of the top. This is the block that you're gonna work both sides up to. So now that your center block is in, start on your left side or your right side and work your way up towards the center. I like to use right around 1 inch to 1.5 inches spacing. There's no point in laying anything out though, just put your blocks in, make sure they look clean and evenly spaced, and nail them up. Once you get to the top, if you have a smaller space, you can go ahead and cut down a ripper, put something like 1.5 inches in like you see here. Now you'll see here at the bottom, we have strips of plywood. We have a stack of 2 and then we have 1 down below. And the reason for that is because when they do their exterior finish, we want them to be able to come down nice and smooth with a good transition. If those weren't there, it would cause a little dip right there and it wouldn't look good. It only takes a couple seconds to cut those and throw those in. Take the time to do it. So I just showed you how to lay out a very large arch, 85-inch opening, get it framed out and put it in, nail it all up and finish it out. Let's run through the same exact steps I showed you with the big arch in the case that you didn't get it on this little guy. Might be a little bit easier for you to understand. All right, so let's run through a couple things first. Our overall opening is going to be 35 inches. Half of that is 17.5 inches. So now remember, whatever you want down from your header, you're going to do right up here. I laid this out 6 inches on both sides and snapped it through. You can see that red line. From there, we're going to mark 17.5, which is our center mark. Right up there. We're going to do the same thing down here. 17.5. We'll go ahead and square this up. Now we have a 35-inch opening. So the same rules apply. You're going to pull 17.5 from here down onto this center line and give yourself a small mark. So you can see we're up here on our red line. We're on our line here, so we're nice and straight. We're going to mark 17.5 right there. Take a nail. You're going to hook that nail and pull back up and double check. You should have the number that you pulled down back up. If you don't, something is wrong. So we're 17.5 to our red line. We're going to turn it sideways to make it a little bit easier on me here. We're 17.5 to our red line. We're going to pinch our pencil right underneath 17.5. Lock your tape and pull it tight against that nail and drag down. As you can see, we closed out right there. Spin it the other way. Hook our nail, pencil and tape on 17.5. This can be kind of a pain every now and then, especially on OSB. Pull all the way through. Now when you pull from the red line here down to the bottom of your arch that you just marked out, 17.5 is right about where this thing's gonna cut off. These round arches are very simple to do, guys. Whatever you want below your header right there, half of your opening, pull down, give yourself a nail, hook that nail, drag both ways, you're done. It does not get much easier than that. Now, as seen in the video, I like to cut my arches out with a jigsaw. You can cut them with a skill saw and it works, but it's not as clean. If you want to take the time, do it with a jigsaw and it comes out nice. So I have shown you guys 2 different arches, a very large one and a very small one. It seems people have the hardest time figuring out how to get the actual arch than building it. Building it's very simple, as you guys just saw. You throw your blocks in the sides, 1 block in the center, and block your way out both sides, and they are very aesthetically pleasing. Arches are a perfect way to give anything some good detail. They're very simple to do, as you guys just saw, but the thing is, that's not the only arch. There's tons of arches out there. If you guys want to learn more about this and see more arches, figure out how to cut something that's not just a half circle, let me know down in the comments below and I'll get going on that as well. This is by far the easiest arch, and if it's something you haven't done a lot of, I highly suggest doing this first. It'll get you a good feel for it, and it's honestly a fun thing to build. Not only that, but they really look nice. If you enjoyed this video and you took anything away from it, even the smallest thing, maybe you knew how to do it with math, but you just learned a way that doesn't take any math, give this video a big thumbs up and hit the subscribe button down below. It helps me out a lot, and I appreciate each and every one of you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and head on out though. If you guys have any other video requests as far as tutorials go, please let me know down in the comments below. I'd be glad to make something happen. Till next time, guys, bang on.